God's creation and how we respond to that now, today, and at this particular moment as St. Mark's Church. Now, St. Mark's, for those of you that don't know, has had quite a history of grappling with how we care for the environment. And that started with Jemima Parker, who now has a role working for the diocese in helping churches to grapple with this as an issue. It was then carried on by Michelle, who I'm glad to say is here in the front row. She's come back from Hope Church, so it's really nice to have you here, Michelle. Really good to see you. Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. Because Jemima and Michelle kind of really paved the way, and they helped the church think through and grapple with a lot of the issues as to how we might change what we do in order that we would be the recipients of the award bronze for an eco church. And today, I'm really pleased to say that we've got to the point where we've done so many changes that we're now going to be receiving a silver award. So I'd just like to invite Deborah Booth, who is now heading up the eco team, to come to the front of church. And I'm also going to invite our MP, Andrew Jones, to come up to the front. Let's give him a round of applause as well. Welcome, Andrew, and obviously welcome, Deborah. I know you. So today, I thought what would be really helpful is, if you would like to present the award to Deborah on behalf of the church and all the work they've done.
Many congratulations. Thank you very much for everything that you have done. You have shown great leadership as a church, as a community, and you thoroughly deserve the Silver Award. So I'm delighted to present it to you. Thank you.
Now, Andrew, obviously, the environmental issue is something I know that is on your heart, and that you've led some changes here in the Harrogate district. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about kind of what's on your heart and what you've been doing, and how you hope to see things sort of evolve in that way in the future.
Okay. Right, well, thank you very much. I think this is an absolutely critical issue, probably the most critical issue that all of us are facing as a planet. And it's great to join you on an Eco Sunday service. The point for me is that we need to make progress everywhere, but that progress won't be because government has done something, or an individual has done something, or a company has done something. Everybody has to make some changes. And the changes are profound, and they're quite complicated, and they will result in some disruptions. So if I look across the area, I think the biggest thing that's actually impacting upon our carbon reduction in our community doesn't actually take place in our community. It takes place offshore with offshore wind and renewables, which are taking place away from us but impact upon us. When I became an MP, it was just over 10 years ago, 6.7% of our electricity was from renewable resources. Now it's 43.1% and growing. That's a significant change. That has the biggest impact on our community of all issues. But if we keep it more local, well, we know that 30% of our carbon emissions comes from our transport system. What can we do to get people into more sustainable transport? Well, I've spent a large amount of my time and energy trying to ensure that we have got things like electric buses, improved rail services, improved cycle paths, partly to help people stay safe and partly to help people make that transition. So if I look at the electric bus network we've got a lot more electric buses coming. We know that 10,000 people leave Harrogate to work in Leeds every day. 8,000 people leave Leeds to work in Harrogate. We wonder why the buses and the A61 and the trains are really packed. Well, that's why. So if we don't make some headway in really improving that transport, that connection, we won't hit our carbon reductions as a community. So my message really is there's lots of things taking place. It is a good thing that is taking place. We have won the argument, but we need to keep the momentum up, and it is up to all of us, in whichever roles we have, in government, or as individuals, in community groups, or in companies, to keep going with it, because it is the most pressing issue that we have. It's always been a big issue, but it's really been compounded by the very tragic and worrying situations in the Ukraine and in Russia. That has given us, I think, a renewed impetus to ensure that our energy supply is both sustainable and resilient. And what was a top issue and a major crisis has now become absolutely paramount and is dominating some of our thinking down in Westminster. Bit serious for this conversation, we'll move on, but the point is we have made great progress. We should feel proud of what we have done. You should certainly feel incredibly proud of what you have done here. We had a very happy day, actually, presenting this. 12 years ago, we had a little service. We had a cherry picker. We had Bishop James. We had Michelle up in the... We went up in a cherry picker, and Bishop James blessed the solar panels. And he obviously was on good form that day because they're still working well. We now need to see more people do exactly what you have done. So my point really is, lots of things happening. It's all very positive. We need to keep the energy up, and we all have a role to play. You have shown some real leadership. Congratulations for it. I've tried to help everybody make the same kinds of journeys, and looking at you, and I can point to what you have done and say, look what they've done. They're really good. We can all do this. They've proved the way. So thanks very much, and enjoy the rest of the service.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Andrew.